we start this Wednesday edition of CNN Student News, we're taking you to the Korean Peninsula. An American admiral says the tension between North and South Korea and between North Korea and the U.S. is higher than it's been in the past 60 years. Here's some of the latest in this story. South Korean officials say North Korea could be getting ready to test fire a missile. They think it could happen as early as today. The North gave a warning yesterday to foreigners in South Korea. It told them to find shelter or leave the country in case an armed conflict started. American commanders say the U.S. is ready to help defend its friends in the region, like South Korea. Another one of those U.S. allies, Japan, says it's putting missile defense systems around Tokyo. That would help it protect against a possible North Korean missile test. North Korea's economy is in bad shape. Its manufacturing industry started crumbling decades ago. The nation isolates itself from most of the rest of the world, so it doesn't have many trading partners. Officials estimate that North Koreans face regular food shortages. 25% of the country's people don't have enough to eat. And a military conflict can be expensive. So how does North Korea take in money? Chris Lawrence looks at some ways.
When it comes to selling technology, the launch pad is Kim Jong-un's showroom, and the missile test doubles as a marketing tool.
It's telling other countries, look what you could have also for a price.
Libya and Iran have been willing clients, but former U.S. intelligence official Joe Detrani says sanctions have cut into sales. Kim is profiting off illegal weapons, but brings in $20 to $100 million less than his father.
How important is money to Kim Jong-un?
Money is key. He's got to keep the elites happy.
North Korea has its own version of the 1%. Kim needs that money stream to keep them on his side. Fortunately for Kim, North Korea has legal goods and a willing trade partner right next door.
Who is Kim's link to China?
It has to be Jong Sung-taek.
And Jong is part of the family. Kim elevated his uncle to number 2. Jong Sung-taek oversees some of the state-run trading companies, which mine reserves like coal and iron ore. Jong uses his connections to sell those minerals to China, and the profits come back to Kim.
This is the man who can cut the deal with China. He has a lot of credibility with the Chinese, yes.
Thanks in part to Kim's uncle, trade with China is booming, from $1 billion a few years ago to $5 billion now.
We've accounted for the weapons and the minerals. How else is he getting money?
He's getting money through illicit transactions.
U.S. officials say North Korea is exporting illegal drugs like meth, producing knockoffs of popular cigarettes and pharmaceutical drugs, even counterfeiting good old Ben Franklin.
A U.S. official tells us that the illicit stuff is still pretty small scale, but the North does get a bit more from tourism and foreign investment from South Korea and China. But in a country where residents don't pay taxes and the country is not connected to the international trading market, the official says basically it's minerals and weapons that are the cash cows keeping Kim in power. Chris Lawrence, CNN, Washington.
Today's first shout out goes out to Mr. Myers' social studies classes at Reach Academy in Roseville, Michigan. Which of these is a flag of Kenya? Here we go now. Is it A, B, C, or D? You've got 3 seconds. Go. Kenya's flag has black, red, and green bands and features a shield and crossed spears. That's your answer, and that's your shout out.
Kenya has a new president. Uhuru Kenyatta is the son of Kenya's first president. Now he's the country's youngest leader.
That I will diligently discharge my duties
and perform my
functions
in the office of the President of the Republic of Kenya.
In the office of the President of the Republic of Kenya.
Kenya has the biggest economy in Eastern Africa. It's also a major U.S. ally in the fight against terrorism. And it's an important trade route into the rest of Africa. Its newest president comes with some controversy, though. He's facing charges from the International Criminal Court. Kenyatta's been accused of funding militias that carried out violent attacks after Kenya's last election in 2007. Kenyatta denies those accusations and says he'll cooperate with the court in an effort to clear his name. We are halfway through today's show, and we're hoping you teachers will tell us how we're doing. The place to do that is our homepage, cnnstudentnews.com. That's also where you'll find our blog, where we recently asked students, what are your college expectations if you're planning to go? For Raj, it's all about skills. I hope to get specific skills that'll be needed for my life and profession. For Abida, college is the first step to making your dream come true, whether it's music school, art school, whatever it is you want to do with your life. Aaron writes, I want to get a good education and learn valuable life skills and maybe get a basketball scholarship. Jordan plans to go to the U.S. Naval Academy, join the Navy, and to be an aviator. Tatiana wants to consume as much knowledge as possible. I'd also want to experience the feeling of taking responsibility for my future and learning to make it in the real world. And Lewis plans to go to college to become wiser and maybe get a PhD. With my education, I want to make the world a better place.
Time for a shout-out extra credit. Which of these is a designation of an American civilian ship? You know what to do. Is it SS, USS, HMS, or NCC? Put another 3 seconds on the clock and go. If you picked A, you're in for smooth sailing. SS stands for steamship. That's your answer, and that's your shout-out extra credit.
In the 1950s and 60s, the SS United States carried world leaders, royalty, actors, even works of art across the Atlantic Ocean. And it did it faster than any ship before or since. The designer said, quote, you can't set her on fire, you can't sink her, and you can't catch her. But she hasn't sailed since the 1990s. It costs almost $80,000 a month to keep her from sinking, and unless someone saves this piece of maritime history, she could end up in pieces.
The SS United States is sending out what could be its final SOS. Once the fastest ocean liner to cross the Atlantic, America's flagship is in need of a rescue. Larger, faster, and safer than the Titanic, the first time the SS United States took to the water, she set the world speed record, a feat that has never been surpassed. But time and money are running out for the ocean liner that carried heads of state and celebrities across the Atlantic during the 50s and 60s.
Dubbed the Big U, this lady in waiting could be sold for scrap unless her owners come up with enough money to save her.
The ship's designer, naval architect William Francis Gibbs, put everything he had into his ultimate ship. The 2,200 passenger liner also doubled as a convertible troop ship if war broke out. Gibbs' obsession with creating the perfect vessel became his granddaughter's obsession with saving it.
I mean, this is an extraordinary American achievement, an amazing expression of our post-war history, and it would be so tragic to see it destroyed.
Out of service since 1969, the vintage vessel is now docked in Philadelphia. The goal is to turn the ship into a stationary entertainment complex and museum. For now, the clock is ticking.
Its name is the SS United States, and she's been here for 17 years because she is not done yet.
Sarah Hoy, CNN, Philadelphia.
A dog eating peanut butter, maybe you'd smile. A dog eating peanut butter while wearing a suit, worth a chuckle. A dog feeding itself peanut butter while wearing a suit, almost too much for a cameraman to take. Jeannie Moos serves up the story.
Why make a sandwich when you can eat peanut butter straight out of the jar?
It's so funny.
The dog's name is Odin. The guy laughing is the cameraman, and the hands handling the spoon belong to Odin's owner. And if you think the cameraman's laughter is contagious, just imagine being there.
I was basically crying behind the camera, laughing so hard.
At least Trevin Spencer could see the action. His roommate and the dog's owner, Ashlyn Parker, was underneath the green jacket with her head covered. Who cares about peanut butter and jelly? We prefer peanut butter and German Shepherd.
Oh my God.
Jeannie Moos, CNN.
It's so funny.
At first, it's a little jarring, but that performance deserves a hand or two, and the cameraman better pay back the dog for giving him all that laughter. You could say he Odin won. I'm Carl Zeus. Have a great day.